Okay, starting on A, because I think it's the better Cypher. Camera here. Can see the spawn barrier as soon as they walk out. Trip right here. This trip basically just denies anyone trying to push into this area to wrap you through elbow. Trip on this line. Just a strong trip to protect you on site. One way by throwing it into this thing. And for your second cage, you don't have to, but it is just slightly better to throw your cage up top like so. You could throw it down here instead though, like that. And now playing this setup, playing this position, you have early info for A main, so you can call for your teammates to rotate back or forth. And when they hit site, you can pop this one way, get a free kill off of that. When they start actually pushing you in sight, they're hitting your trips. You can pop this cage that you have to lurk around in, and to spam your trips for free kills. For a one-way setup for tower, you're gonna put your cam up here. This camera is a one-way camera where you can see their legs while they can't see you. First trip right here, simple info trip. For your cage, throw a one-way right here. I don't have an exact lineup for this. I just place my crosshair slightly above the diamond. For your second trip, I'm normally just throwing a simple info one for main for my teammate to play off of with a cage with it. But you can swap it up. This trip is normally just for your teammate that's playing screens to spam off and get a free kill. So you can swap it up and throw whatever you'd like. Now, playing the setup, just chilling up here. When you see their feet walking up, and they're on the upper section on the ramp, not the lower part, you pop this, spam off of, get a free kill. If they try to run through the cage to kill you, they hit their trip. You can wallbang them if they're on this side, or you can just shoot them normally. For main, this trip can stop the lurker, but also when your teammates are calling that they're running in, you can pop the cage, spam off of it. So your teammate has a smoke to spam off the trip and get a free kill. Or, if you would like, you can also just save this cage for the retake, so that when you're retaking through screens, you can pop this cage so you have less angles to worry about while clearing. For the third setup, if you want to be the player who's playing screens yourself, playing off your trips main, come here, look at this bar for where to place your camera, go as high as possible and jump throw. This camera gives you vision into main, and if they walk into the tower. And then for the trips, it's honestly super simple. I'm normally throwing a trip similar to the one before, but just slightly more out, so they have to commit more if they want to hit it. And if you place it like this, at that height, it still hits them in the head if they're in hell, like so. And then for the second one, placing it off the corner of this block, like that. And between them, I'm just placing a cage. Honestly, super simple setup. You're spotting the main cross for your teammates if there's a lurker. You can see if they go into heaven. And then if they're running main, you just pop the cage, spam, get free kills. Super simple. Some alternative cameras that are really good to know for A site. It's the one right up here. Sees main, sees CT. It's pretty strong. We'll get shot out though relatively fast. The one in screens here. You can't tag people with this, but they also can't shoot it back. Gives you vision main, and sees if they walk into CT. There's one on the billboard up here, which you actually can throw without jumping off. You just have to walk right up to the edge and throw on the side like so. It's really good info early, but it will get a shot out if there's people here. And then for ramp, as soon as the round starts, you can come and place a camera up here. This camera will see cross here if they're walking into a main, and it'll give you ramp vision. For B site, the standard setup that I'm running the most often is placing a camera up here. This camera is a little bit of a one-way camera, where you will see them around here, and they still can't see your camera unless they're crouching and looking up. And then for one-ways, I'm throwing a cage right up here. Honestly, you can just bank this up top without a lineup, just by throwing. But if you wanted, but it will sometimes have a gap like so. If you want to make sure there's no gap at all, For a precise lineup, you can walk up against the edge of this door like here, and then aim right where this pillar or this thing meets here. Now, there's no gap. The 2 main trips I'm throwing, this one right here, one right here, and then a second cage like so. Playing this is super simple. You see people walking up into this area. You want to wait until they're about to hit, when they're close into the garage area. If they're back here, it's easier for them to escape by going around the corner, and if they stand all the way back, they can see you also. So you want to wait until they're about to hit in here for perfect timing. And you pop, spam off of them. You should get at least one for free, and then if they're able to hit through, you can back up, pop this cage, and spam off your trips. Super easy kills. And also, this setup is super easy to live off of also. With this cage, it's super easy just to back up in the CT if you need to. If you're getting pressured too hard on B and want to play a retake setup, come over on top of these boxes, place the camera here. This camera will give you vision of the B main walkout and the B heaven walkout. For tripwires, you're going to place one off the 3rd step in here. This tripwire, one side is completely hidden, and just it's really nasty to catch people off guard walking into sight like so. And for the second one, you're placing it at the top of the last step at head level here. For cages, placing one just about here, and you also place your second if you need to. Now, playing from CT, you see if they walk out heaven for your teammates, you see they walk out B main. When they do hit B, you can pop this cage, spam off your trips, and then also, this cage allows you to reposition back pillar if you need. Your second one can do that, or if they start planting, this cage is deep enough that you can walk inside and actually spam the planter here to kill them if they're planting safe. For your 3rd setup on B, if you need help in B heaven, this setup's a little bit unorthodox, but it's what I like to do the most. For your camera, placing the same one as before in the 1st setup on site. It's a very strong camera, and it gives you vision to B heaven, which is what we need the most for it. For trips, placing one here, put a cage right about here, and then for B main, we're placing a tripwire off the propane tank paired with a normal cage in the choke. And now playing from this setup, you're playing in a rather weird spot. You're playing in this off-angle heaven right here, walking out as far as you can, playing here. Now, you have vision for male and B main. If they've been hitting male a bunch, you can, when they're running up, when they hit your tripwire, you can spam through this wall to get a free kill, and drop, and you have this cage to play off of here. With this cage, you can rat inside of it. You can just use it to reposition and hold for the cage run out, or you can run back pillar to play off your second trip here. If they hit B main, you can pop this cage to stall and to stop them from seeing you early on, but if they are getting ready to push through it, you can easily just drop and reposition pillar. If they run out B main, then you have this tripwire, which gives you free wallbang kills for this pillar or for the box. And yeah, and some alternative cameras on B that I think are quite strong. You can place one in here. This gives you vision of B main walkout and B heaven again. You can place one above it here. Same vision, B main, B heaven. You can place one on the roof here above. This one gives you B main, or it gives you B heaven vision. It doesn't give you B main vision, but it gives you vision when they walk out, and is super unlikely to get broken from B main. So this camera can be strong in the retake. This is the alternative camera I would use for the retake setup. In B heaven, you can place one up here, which is quite strong if you need B heaven vision, or you can place one in the corner like so.